Hi, my name is Krusha and I'm from Property Investment Angels. I'm going to take you through this video on 9 different problems that buyers face when purchasing a property. And this will help you to develop a contingency before you actually go and purchase your first property. The first problem that many people face is delays in the chain. And delays in the chain can be many things. It could be due to legal searches, it could be due to the sellers, it could be due to your own situation, it could be your own finance, if you're able to raise funds or not. It could be that you have limited funds. There's many reasons why delays in the chains can occur, and some of those reasons follow on from this. So delays in the chain can, because there's a number of things that happens within a property chain. There could be a number of things that are dependent on each other that is also causing the delays. For example, if you're putting in searches through the lawyers, that will obviously take a certain amount of time, and then applying for a mortgage will take another certain amount of time. And obviously the banks have to do their checks, they have to verify you, go through your credit rating, and that takes time in itself. So a delay on one factor in the chain can also cause a delay in the other factors of the chain. So let's see the other factors that you might come across. Number 2, you have finding a suitable property. Now, we are all guilty of going out and looking at different properties and finding the one that we think we fall in love with and we want to buy regardless of the price. I have been there myself. I have also looked at many properties in terms of an investment perspective and thinking this would make a good investment. And there's other properties that I've really wanted to buy and I've not been able to get that property because it doesn't seem. You might feel like you're going out looking at properties and looking at other properties, and you might seem that the budget that you have might not be fit for what you actually want. You have to keep an open mind when you're going out looking at properties. The best thing to do is keep an open mind, and then also look at within your price range that you can afford what is available in that price range, and what other things out there. So say if you have a property at a certain level, but you seem to only be able to get properties that need modernization within your budget. So you have to look realistically at thinking, is that possible to get, and kind of look at things in a pragmatic way and think realistically. Maybe it's easier to write a list down what you actually realistically want for yourself and for your future, and see if you want to have kids in your future, you're obviously security is the main thing. So finding a suitable property that will have a good backyard, will have enough space for you to grow as a family, will have enough, will be safe enough for your children. That's finding something that is suitable. So even if something needs modernization, if they actually have those things that you want in your list, then just keep looking at it with an open mind. The third thing you have is property left in unsuitable conditions. Now, unsuitable conditions could be a range of things. It could be something like damp, something that it could be really unsuitable, such that the fact it's not mortgageable. In those situations, you have to look at it in such a way. How much work do you have to do? Do you have the funds to do it, to make it suitable for you? If it's not in a livable condition, you obviously have to do some work for it. And if it's not within your price range, then you might need to reassess what you can actually get within your price range. And that is another issue that you need to look at, because there's a lot of people who want to go on the property market but face this problem that they're finding things in an unsuitable condition, and people actually sell them for the prices. There's a lot of people out there who want to get on the property market, and they will pay even if it's in suitable conditions. So you have to keep yourself open-minded to that as well. Another thing is problems on completion day. Now, problems on completion day could be delays with solicitors if they're going out for searches, or if the seller has a disagreement or disputes something within the terms in exchange of contracts, then it can lead to you having delays. The best thing to do is probably to list down the different steps of what you actually need to do, your legal paperwork, your mortgage paperwork, what steps you need to take, so to enable you to process things in such a way the time scale. So by going to the mortgage, getting a mortgage, you're asking your provider to say, how long will the mortgage application take? How long will it be before you know whether it's been accepted? From when it's been accepted, how long will it take to actually get your first instalment? So within that time period, you will actually know what time frame each activity in your chain will take, and how long on average it will take for you to purchase that property if you're doing it in a traditional way. The fifth problem many people face is actually getting a mortgage, and these days it's a lot harder actually getting a mortgage, and that's because the prices obviously in London are quite high, and getting a mortgage can be very difficult. One thing many people do is to try and borrow from Bank of Mum and Dad. If that is an option to you, then you could possibly do that. A lot of other people try and get a mortgage jointly or with a relative. Now, there are also people who, have people like relatives give them cash deposits as gifted money, but you have to make sure as well legally that they provide a letter, documentation when you give it to your mortgage provider, that is actually a gift, because it can be seen as, they don't want to see anything that it's part of the legal paperwork as well. So everything has to be documented. Saving as well is one thing, but you keep going on a never-ending journey of saving and saving and saving, and every prices go up. There are other options out there for you. I provide options myself. If you want to get in contact with me, I can be happy to speak to you about different options available to you. If you're, say, a student and you're not able to finance a property yourself, but if you can afford rent but you don't have a deposit, there are options available to you. And if you'd like to discuss that further, I'll keep my contact details at the end of this video. Another problem many people face is issues with removal companies. Now, removal companies, whether you're moving your own goods or you're using them, you can get delays with removal companies, and you have to make sure you vet them and see which companies are good. Make sure that maybe go on Trusted Traders and see which traders are there, which removal companies are have good reviews, and go for the ones with the good reviews. Also have a look at if they have any complaints, if they have any concerns from other customers, and how they dealt with it, because you can get many issues with removal companies, such as damaged goods. In that way, make sure that you pack everything well. You can also have issues with them damaging your property if you're not there at the property. The best way of combating that is also taking pictures of the property. Making sure the property beforehand, before people have come from the removal company, to make sure that if you see anything after they have come and they have done damage, you have that as photo evidence. Also make sure that your insurance covers that, just in case anything else of great value gets damaged. So make sure you also have that. There can be delays in timing, such as if they're stuck in traffic. There could be other kind of delays as well. Say if you're delayed in getting keys because the person selling to you is disputing something, your delay in keys can also cause delays within the removal van service as well. So just keep that in mind as well. Number 7 could be with the conveyancer. The conveyancer, you could have problems with this because they usually are waiting for searches. So what they'll do is they'll send out searches. They'll search the property for you, the local council, the sewage, the drainage, energy and all that kind of stuff, and they'll do the searches for you, but that takes a period of time. And they are obviously, as conveyors, if you push them, they can probably put it a bit forward, but they also have a time frame. It takes a certain amount of time to do conveyancing. So you need to speak to your lawyers as well and just get an estimate of how long it would take them with conveyancing. With this, you could also have issues with, if your conveyancer is gone on holiday, that could cause you delays. If you're waiting on on other things, if you're waiting for the person selling to get back to you, that could cause an issue with conveyancing if they're not giving you the right legal documents. If the timescales of you relying on other people can also cause delays within the conveyancing as well. Another issue you could have is with the actual surveyor, whether there's the actual surveying report or the actual surveyor themselves. I would advise you go to an actually RICS certified surveyor, and you can search them from the RICS website. And if you go to the RICS website, you'll be able to search a list of companies and registered surveyors under that company as well. So you'll be able to have a look at what person or what surveyor is actually registered to survey your property, rather than kind of having cowboy surveyors coming to look at your property and then giving you a made-up offer. And then they're not with this. You can also have complaints with the surveyor. And the best way is to go to ADR and the Ombudsman Service to complain about them if you don't like the surveyor. With actual surveying processes, there's two types of reports you can get. You can get a buyer's report, or you can actually get a structural survey done. And there's a difference as well. With a buyer's report, it's mostly done by the person providing you with a mortgage, and they don't tend to show you. They can show you. It's at their discretion to show you, but they don't tend to show you if you do a buyer's report. You can do a structural survey. A structural survey is slightly bit more, but it will also tell you about any problems you may have with damp, any infestations, any asbestos in the property, any issues with the roofs, any issues with the windows. Those are things you need to keep in mind, because if you feel air coming through the windows, if you see cracking in the roof, if you see things like that, or you smell a bit of damp, those can potentially cause issues with your actual structure of your property, and that obviously will affect your price as well. There's been in the past there has been some issues where a survey hasn't been done, and then it's been found out that the structure is actually moving, and the structural movement and property needed underpinning, and that obviously affects the price then as well. So a lot of people then have to evaluate the history of the actual property itself. And then the last one, I don't know how much this can be solved, but buyers can be gazumped, and gazumped is basically when you're outbid by another person, and usually that is someone you basically when the seller is accepting a higher offer than yours by someone else. And the problem with this whole process is, until completion, you're basically, as a buyer, you're left in the lurch, and that is part of the problem that many people face. I myself have faced that, where I've been outbid on the property that I fell in love with, and I was really disheartened, as many people are. They get very disheartened when they're like, I really saw myself living in that place and someone else has outbid me on it. The way of going around that is to think of it as an investment. There's always going to be another property out there. You also have to look at what other options you have. And I can provide some other options to stop you getting outbid by other people as well. So if you'd like to talk to me about that, please message me on the details that I have in the next slide. But yeah, if you do have any properties, queries or if you want property solutions, please feel free to contact me. I have a website, I also have Facebook, Instagram, and my email